COINTELPRO's first targets was the movement for Puerto Rican independence. In 1897, Puerto Rico was granted autonomy by the Spanish Empire, only to be invaded by the United States in 1898. Since then, Puerto Ricans have struggled against U.S. colonialism, led by activists like Pedro Albizu Campos. By the mid-1950s, as movements for independence surged around the world, the Puerto Rican National Liberation Movement had reached a new and impressive strength. In 1950, the Nationalist Party attempted to assassinate President Harry Truman, and in 1954, 4 nationalists attacked the U.S. Congress.
One of the first documents that the FBI issues, that J. Edgar Hoover issues, that constitutes what could be called a COINTELPRO document, was really issued against the Puerto Rican independence movement. In this missive that J. Edgar Hoover sends out to the San Juan office is that everything has to be done, that you should gather all pertinent information, including personal information, on the independence leaders to expose them, that would lead to divisions, that would lead to disruption and the destruction of the movement. In 1978, it's revealed that there are files on 165,000 adults in Puerto Rico. While in Puerto Rico, in order to get a job, you had to have a certificate of good conduct. Who issued a certificate of good conduct? The Puerto Rican police. But if you had a file, you didn't have a certificate of good conduct. What did this mean? It meant that Puerto Ricans who were in any way associated with the Puerto Rican independence movement or were supportive of the Puerto Rican independence movement had a file on them, and it was very difficult for them to get jobs in Puerto Rico. It was all driven by the FBI, and it was part of the FBI's COINTELPRO program that these files were kept.
Not only were files kept, but organizers and activists were targeted in other ways by the U.S. government. The COINTELPRO activities of police agencies led to the setup and murder of Puerto Rican independence fighters Carlos Soto Arivi and Arnaldo Dario Rosado in Cerro Maravilla in 1978. In the United States, the COINTELPRO program reacted to the growing organization and militance of the Puerto Rican community. An FBI informant in Chicago infiltrated an activist family, spread vicious rumors, and was responsible for the imprisonment of leaders.
We had an FBI informant, Rafael Marrero, that married my sister. He was totally involved in the political work. He really knew how to do political work, and he wasn't lazy. But I remember talking to my sister about this because he never had a job, even though he did political work. My sister fed him, my sister clothed him, my sister was raising their daughter.
The destructive personal and political betrayals of FBI infiltrator Marrero took place at a time when both of his wife's sisters, Lucy and Alicia Rodriguez, were political prisoners.
He was just a leech, you know, and personally, and then a leech in the movement, and then he leaves, and then all these awful things that he did to you know, against people that I knew were giving of their life and their essence to the struggle.
A prominent activist imprisoned due to his actions was Jose Solis, a professor of education in Chicago who was charged in connection with an attempted bombing of a military recruiter that had in fact been set up by Marrero.
That's what Rafael Marrero, who was the agent stationed here, was supposed to do. Actually did carry out a bombing, and he tried to then put the blame on Puerto Rican activists and people who promoted Puerto Rican independence.
Jose Solis spent many years in prison, and his marriage broke up and his children suffered.
The FBI takes no responsibility, yet in the case of Rafael Marrero, we know that he was paid several $1 million to carry out what he did. He was wine and dine in the best hotels. We had all the evidence that was revealed through the discovery documents of Jose Solis' case. And yet the FBI assumes no responsibility for them.
The U.S. government continues to target the Puerto Rican independence movement and to imprison Puerto Rican activists.